I am here with Lucha Underground's Ivelisse. I'm sure you have a busy WrestleMania weekend. What all is on your slate?
I will be doing some meet and greets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm really excited to meet all my fans.
So where can people see you during the weekend?
At the New Orleans, no, what?
I know you'll be at WrestleCon for title match,
Yeah,
correct?
wrestle in a
So
title match.
no, for title match wrestling, I believe, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you. Yeah, I'll be at WrestleCon. Yeah, yeah, of course, I'll be at WrestleCon. And yes, it's presented by Title Match Wrestling.
So, how early do you start getting bookings and appearances for a WrestleMania weekend, even being outside WWE? How far ahead does that type of thing happen? Because it is a big weekend.
Yeah, actually, I think this was last year that we had talked about this particular appearance for WrestleMania. Yeah, so it's been booked for quite some time now.
I know that Lucha Underground just filmed its fourth season. What's your status with them right now?
My status, well, I just finished filming season 4, and they didn't say anything of what would be next aside from just, waiting for the official date for season 4 to air. But yeah.
So there was a bit of time between season 3 and season 4, and the contract situation with Lucha Underground isn't a secret. They've got a lot of people locked up long term for many seasons. How did that affect you?
Mhm.
Because I know that you're in demand from bookers all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was hard, like it was for everyone, especially very active, high demand wrestlers. Um, like, after, I would say, like, once it hit the year mark, that's when it really started hitting me, like, okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Maybe I should start kind of exploring different options and what to do. But then out of the blue, they announced that we're going to film season 4. So I said, okay, well, let's give it a shot and see how everything progresses from there. And just kind of gonna keep staying active and see season 4 air and see how it goes. They did mention that they have some plans of expanding, so hopefully that goes through and we don't get another year hiatus.
Are we going to see you at all appearing on the Impact versus Lucha Underground show?
No, I was not scheduled for any shows, any for wrestling. I mean, so, but you never know. I'll be ready in case the opportunity does come up for whatever reason. But yeah, no, I was not booked for any wrestling.
How does that sit with you? I mean, is it a type of thing that maybe you have a chip on your shoulder about? Are you okay with it? Was there an injury that
Well,
prevented it?
well, honestly, the same thing happened to me last year. And then the year before that, I couldn't even be at WrestleCon because my ankle was broken.
Sure.
So, like, these last couple of years have been pretty difficult for me because of the injuries.
Hmm.
So I lost a lot of momentum from being an active wrestler and whatnot. So I've been working hard to get myself on track and get that momentum back. So hopefully this year will be getting back on track, getting that momentum back. And yeah, of course it pisses me off, but whatever, that's the business. It's all based on the momentum you have. I was actually going through a depression because of all of it, so that's why I took the time off at that time. It was really hard for me to kind of accept that reality that after I had worked so hard to create said momentum,
Yeah.
like when I debuted in PWI number 7 for the first time and the whole thing, having the Shine Championship, longest reign, and all of that, just all of those things, like getting to that certain point where you're considered like the hottest, you know, star or whatever in the scene, and then like break my ankle, and then it all went, like it all disappeared, and that, you know, all that momentum, all that hard work, and then, you know, work so hard to come back, and then bam, get it broken again. That was just like, it was really hard. So after all that happened and seeing how it really affected and seeing that reality, like, I'm going to be really honest, I did go through a depression that I preferred to have it, to go through it away from the limelight. And then I did what I had to do, everything to like kind of bounce back from that and put it in the past and move forward and get what I had worked so hard for.
And I remember in 2015, I think it was 2015, you were in the middle of Lucha Underground tapings then, so I would imagine there wasn't a lot of time to even do WrestleMania weekend stuff then, because you've got these series of tapings that are happening every couple of weeks. So it's definitely good to see you there now. As far as the ankle, that seems to be, with people who experience that type of injury, it does seem to be almost a recurring thing. How are you feeling these days?
Well, the thing is, specifically with that, is that I how can I say, okay, I live here, but, I'm here on my own. I don't have family here. I only depend on me. So like the recovery was not what it should have been for me. Like I just tried to get, to heal myself as fast as possible, to get right back out there, to make money, to support myself and all that. So I didn't really, like, it's kind of on me that I didn't heal it properly in order to, when I come back, not have that reoccur again. And, you know, and it's not only just physically, because you could physically heal yourself, but then you're not mentally prepared yet because you're afraid. So then you go out there and you're kind of on eggshells about, you know, your movements out there, because you have to get over it mentally as well. So
You're also known as one of the more outspoken people in wrestling, and that bled over into your developmental experience with WWE, but that's been years ago now. What is your relationship with them now? I know you're with Lucha Underground, obviously, but have things been a bit better, because they've moved on from that sort of developmental system that you were a part of as well?
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet to watch that happen since I left. It's like, well, awesome, fantastic, because it's always been, it's not just like, oh, me. Like, honestly, like, for me, what I get satisfaction from is being able to contribute as a woman to women's wrestling, and have, you know, the more I can do to contribute to get to, you know, to have it be seen in a good light, that has always been like my underlying goal throughout it all. So, you know, on one side, it makes me incredibly happy to see all these changes and all these things and all that growth towards women's wrestling, and how, you know, and how WWE presents them, and all of that has been incredibly, you know, awesome. And then there's that other side of my mind. I was like, man, wasn't I there at the wrong time? Like, why couldn't I be there now? Like, yeah, you know, on a personal level, yeah. So it's kind of bittersweet in that sense. But I obviously, that's something, no matter where, that's something I want to be a part of, you know, no matter what company I'm at or what part of the world or whatever, as long as I'm part of that, you know, whatever growth towards making women's wrestling better, or making women's wrestling, you know, be seen in a better light, or be presented in a more respectable, credible way, all that is something that I will always want to be a part of. So, you know, if that opportunity does come up for whatever reason, soon, later, whenever that is, then I'd be happy.
You've wrestled, like, I mean, virtually everybody there is to wrestle on the independent circuit and other promotions. Is there anybody that's moved on to there that you're kind of friendly with, you keep in touch with, and you kind of see how that experience works itself out?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I suppose I can have a little bit more, a little more of like a place in my heart for people who break out from the independent scene into, the bigger stage, I suppose, because I can relate to that. Mm-hmm. And I know how incredibly and utterly difficult being in the indie scene is, and, all those struggles that comes with that, and how hard it is to transcend into, WWE and all that stuff. So honestly, any person who comes from the independent scene, I always, kind of root for. Doesn't matter if I know them personally or not. It's just, just knowing what that's like is very,
Sure. One of the coolest stories I think of Lucha Underground is one that I don't think necessarily can play out on TV, but it's you, Marty the Moth, Son of Havoc, people that were on that season of Tough Enough that are so successful, more successful than the people that won the show, not taking any shots at Andy or anything, but I mean, you all, I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, I remember them from Tough Enough. I remember them from Tough Enough. Is that something that's been discussed among you guys or anything? Just 3 really successful Tough Enough cast members making it on Lucha Underground.
Actually, no. We never really touched on the Tough Enough thing, or at least we haven't in an extremely long time that I don't recall. But it was that they were actually I believe they were supposed to win anyway from the beginning. Andy and Christina, they both had WWE contracts before the whole competition anyway, so that kind of says a lot about itself.
How did you feel about that?
Then I wasn't, it was kind of frustrating to kind of not fully understand what was going on, but then afterwards, like, oh, gotcha. Okay, so all of that was for nothing. But I then didn't even pay attention to that. I said, well, regardless if it was fixed or not, in an entertainment aspect or whatever the hell, regardless, it's still an opportunity that I intend to not waste any bit at all. So every chance I got when I was in any chance I got through the show that I was at WWE or anything like that, to get the context that I needed to get, and I was like on that throughout the whole thing, and I was actually the only one who actually got signed that didn't already have contracts, because Arion also had a contract secured before the competition even happened. So I ended up being the only one who got a contract that didn't already have a contract from that particular competition.
How did you feel during the infamous line, the Melina versus Alicia Fox line that Stone Cold Steve Austin reacted to? What was your reaction to that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it was kind of funny, but I didn't take insult because she didn't know better. She didn't know anything about the business. So
in your head, were you just like, oh, that was a bad move?
Of course. Of course, that's what made it funny, but, at the same time, I wasn't, all over, attacking her for it.
Well, I mean,
either.
for you, that would have probably been a good thing on the show. So, because she didn't last too long after that. Ivelisse, thank you so much. It's always awesome to talk to you. Definitely encourage people to check her out at the Title Match Wrestling booth at WrestleCon. Ivelisse, thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care.